welcome into the Daily Fix on a Friday. A little Red Friday action here, as the Chiefs got arguably their biggest game of the season, at least thus far. It is as they're going to take on the Buffalo Bills. I am Ron Hughley, your host of the Daily Fix, presented by Foolish Club Media. Right, rightfully belongs is Steven Serta. We appreciate you, or however you are listening to us. We appreciate however you're taking us in. If you're Twitter, however you are, we appreciate you taking us in. And one thing we do need you to do, as always, is head to our Foolish Club Media YouTube channel, like and subscribe, because we're trying to get these numbers up, baby. Like and subscribe. And remember, if you do not do so, you are preventing my 3 children from eating. But not going to hold you long. There is some big news that we do need to get to. Some news of the day we'll get to. But one, FOMO is the only thing that is getting me with this. I'll explain that in a little bit. The big news of the day will address Harrison Butker and what that means. And I do want to start here, though, Steve, and that is this is the game, Serta. This is the one. This is the one, and I need my 2 minutes here, Steve, so I don't stretch. But this is the one, Serta. The one and the game that can change a ton and can mean a ton here. Because one, from the undefeated standpoint, like if you get past this one, I believe you can have real conversations. Like, there were 2 landmark games. One was the 49er game on the road, which you felt like they would be trying to bring their A game. The other one is this one on the road at Buffalo. Now, we'll see what happens a little bit later on as they get to maybe Pittsburgh or whatever. But this is the one. If they get to 10-0 and they're able to beat the Buffalo Bills, this is the game in which you say, all right, now we can be real about the conversation, because the schedule starts to break out. You got the Panthers, you got the Raiders at home. You got really, games where the Chiefs, who I still don't believe have played an A game, they don't have to be great to win games. They don't have to be good, we've seen at times, to win games against some of these opponents. But the big one is also, to go along with the undefeated thing, don't let anybody try to convince you it's not a big deal. Even fighting Sertas, don't ever let him try to convince you it is not a big deal. It is a big deal to go 17-0. But the other big part about this, Serta, is the standings. This could really pretty much end the 1 seed debate in the AFC. You would have no losses, obviously, and then the teams all behind you, except for the Steelers, and I'll get to them in a second, would all have at least 3 losses, and you would have beaten them. The Chargers, the Bills, if you win, the Ravens, obviously, and then there's the Steelers. The Steelers play the Ravens this week at home, and the Ravens are favored. If the Ravens go ahead and win, that means the Steelers would have 3 losses. And that means you would be 3 games clear of everybody with your schedule left. And I just don't believe that it is going to the Chiefs are going to blow a 3-game lead like that. So for me, I think this is a huge game for the Chiefs, and a huge game that can really solidify the entire AFC and then really jumpstart this entire undefeated real talk, because this is the one. You get this one, man, you really control a lot.
Yeah, I mean, these are the top 2 teams in the AFC, and everybody wants to talk about the Ravens, and the Ravens have had some bad losses, but the way the Chiefs are stacking these up and the way the schedule opens up down the stretch here, like, you only have 2 games that you would deem like tough games left on the schedule, or games that like they could lose. And really, I don't even know if you can say that about the Texans at this point, the way that they're playing right now. It's that Steelers matchup that looks like it could be a really tough one for this Chiefs team. Like, It's going to be interesting here. If they can create some separation down the stretch while they get healthy in the AFC, it's going to be massive for the Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, and to be honest, sort of, they've got great separation. Really, I mean, they're two games clear of everybody right now, but this one they hold tiebreakers, so it's essentially a 4-game lead against everybody. And like I said, the Steelers when they see the Chiefs, they're gonna have more than 2 losses. All right, they got the Ravens twice, they got the Bengals twice, and they got the Eagles. And many of those are on the road, so there'll be some issues there. But this could take control of it. All right, one thing that will hurt the Chiefs over the next 4 weeks, and that is Harrison Butker heads to the IR. I'd like to know what the hell happened to him. By the way, do you know? Is there any word of what happened to it? Is this something he's been dealing with? I've seen some video footage of kicks earlier this year that maybe they thought something that just got worse. I know real quick the particulars. He had surgery. By the way, Harrison Butker is already on Twitter said the surgery went well. Ooh, a little help there. Excuse me.
You all right? Yeah, it's annoying that yesterday was coordinator day, and so we heard from Dave Toub yesterday, and then all this came out after the Chiefs spoke. But as has been pointed out on Twitter, Butker, I don't know if this was due to the injury or it's something that he just changed in his approach to kicks, but he's been doing it all season, I guess, where he goes down on a knee and kind of twists his knee. And so maybe that helped lend to the meniscus injury. Or maybe he was doing that because he was already banged up and they were hoping he could just make it through the season. And at this point, the Chiefs were just like, we just got to make sure he's healthy for the playoffs. So just go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off and have the surgery to make sure he's back for the playoffs. So the Chiefs aren't very forthcoming with this stuff. So I would imagine Andy Reid's probably not going to offer up very much today when he speaks to the media in about an hour.
Woo, thanks for the help there. Yeah, a meniscus situation. He said it's already going well. Like, this is a big deal. They signed Spencer Schrader off the Jets practice squad. So he will be the kicker. He went 2 for 2 last week, kicked a 45-yarder. So, hopefully he can do what is needed. But this sort of is covering this team, especially over the last 2 years. Like, they have depended on him. You cross midfield, and in many cases, you're in field goal range. And he has won a lot of games, not just at the buzzer, but he has won many games because he's made big kicks throughout. And there's 4 or 5 kicks that, bam, they're on they put up on the board. And they've been able to do that, and they've been able to ice games with their defense. And to me, I just think this means that some of these guys in the office are just going to have to pick up slack. Andy, Patrick Mahomes, they're just going to have to pick up a little bit of that slack, and they've got to score more touchdowns, or at the very least get them in a good place. Like, it might have been the 35 or the 40 is field goal range, and now you got to finish these things off. But Mahomes and those fellas, to me, are the ones that have to pick up the slack over the next 4 weeks to try to get into the end zone more, so they don't have to put it on the leg of him. You don't want to have a last-second kick have to come down to him at this point, because you just don't have as much confidence as you used to. All right, Steve, tonight, Mike Tyson and Logan Paul, this fiasco goes on. And I got to be honest, I don't know if it's the age. I don't know what's going on for me. When I first saw this, a year plus ago, Steve, I was like, oh, okay, all right, I'm into this sucker. I got no juice for this. Like, I think I'm going to watch it just because of FOMO and also kind of for the job and what we do and potentially talking about it. Like yesterday, that slap that Tyson got on Jake Paul because he got up and stepped on his foot. By the way, Jake Paul did not back up, just kind of stayed there a little bit. We'll see what happens in the fight tonight. But I don't know, man. This is just not something that I am just juiced up for. I am not, and I don't have the connection of like or hate of Logan Paul. I know there are a lot of people who want Logan Paul or Jake Paul to get
Jake Paul, yeah.
not Logan. Logan's his brother, the wrestler. I know a lot of people want Jake to get punched out, I just don't even have a hate watch quality in this. I know Mike's 58 years old, and that is just wild that we're doing this. But I don't know, man. I am just like the Lakers have the Spurs and it's LeBron and AD against Wemby. Like that might be hard to give me. That might be hard to get away from the fourth quarter for me in that game to come over to Netflix and check out Tyson and Logan Paul. I don't know. Maybe it'll get to me a little bit more as we get closer to it, but I am not into this whatsoever.
It's a 60-year-old man going against, how old is Jake Paul? Like in his mid-20s or something like that.
Yeah,
like
31 years younger. However,
yeah. Like I'm not excited about it, but there is something I think to be said for like the mockery that Jake Paul has turned boxing into, where like he's getting paid millions and millions of dollars to put on these exhibition fights where he's only fighting guys that he thinks don't have a chance of beating him. And then there's all these weird rules too. Like it would be nice just to see Mike Tyson knock him out, because this isn't a real sporting event in my mind. It's just spectacle. It's the same thing as like wrestling, where like I don't have any faith that this is actually going to be an entertaining or fun boxing match, but it would be a lot of fun if Mike Tyson goes out there at damn near 60 and just knocks him out.
No, I did enjoy Mike Tyson doing interviews and dropping the F-bomb when that 13-year-old little girl interviewed him. And he told her he just didn't give an F about his legacy. Like that was the he said, we all die, we're all going to dust. Like, okay, and like he just went F-bomb on a 13-year-old girl. Shout out to Jazz. But I don't know, man. This didn't do anything for me. I'm gonna watch it. I'm not gonna lie, but it's really FOMO. But it's not doing anything for me. Hi, Mom and Courtney.